What the fuck have to... Harmon Warhol Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Harmon Warhol, also known as the Podcast Poppy, also known as That Nigga. And I just want to introduce my father, a great, phenomenal man, a former pro athlete, triathlete in high school, former correctional officer, a coach at not only sports but life, current umpire, current just teacher. God damn it, you do it all. My dad, Big Mike.
Do it all, Mike. That's me.
Nigga, we had you on the radio, nigga.
What's up, man?
Yeah,
What's up?
What's good, man? Give me a hug, man.
Give me a hug.
This is real.
No, this is real. It's real love right here, man.
It's real, bro.
Love is real right here. First of all, I just want to say, man, I appreciate, man, having me on your show. Took you long fucking enough.
Oh, yeah, this guy over here barely could roll out of bed to do it today.
But you know, but I know I appreciate you, man. I love the shit you doing, though, man.
Oh, thank you so much. And thanks for being hella supportive. And thanks for giving me 2 rooms to do this.
I don't know if I gave you 2 rooms. I think you took one of the motherfucking rooms. But
hey, take, give, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The whole life is about take and give. But you know what I mean? You taught me that.
Yeah. True.
So anyway, I've been wanting to do this podcast for a long time about my dad. He's just, I try to do it a lot. Not try, but I do this podcast a lot on influential people who are inspired and people who inspire other people. And that's one thing I have to give it up to you no matter what. I mean, yeah, of course you inspired me, and that's great, you know what I mean? But you inspire so many other people, like out, not in just Stockton, but just the world, you know what I mean? From your Instagram, you're more famous than me. You should do your own podcast. But, yeah, so what drives you, man, just to be doing this, like working out and everything on a day-to-day basis?
What drives you, man, is just where I'm from, my roots, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in South Central LA, man.
South Central LA.
You know, a lot of people don't make it or come, get out of South Central LA and do well, especially where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the one positive thing that I can say that my dad did do was when they basically said, hey, it was time for me to move. You know, he moved us out into Cerritos, which was a suburb of Los Angeles, and it gave me a little bit better opportunity to make it. But my driving force has been because people have always said I wouldn't make it in life. I wouldn't be anything. People even told me I wouldn't be shit.
Yeah.
And I utilized that all my life, man. And to this day, man, I'm always chasing that man in the mirror, and I always tell people somebody's always chasing you. So make sure you're ready for the next stage. You know, my motto is be better today than I was yesterday, and be better tomorrow than I was today.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's hard and funny for me at the same time, just because it's so embedded to me since I've been growing up. You know, for you to. You teach me these things where it's just second nature for me. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So when I tell people or show people like how I am and everything, and people are just like so off guard or just can't handle it sometimes, and I'm just like, oh, my dad installed like something in me where like I'm a go-getter now, and whether I want to or not, you know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just like, but it's also crazy to me because like the way you're able to influence and motivate other people, you know what I mean? Like you're contagious, like other people can see you. You've met C.T. Fletcher, and he's, you know what I mean? He's even, I don't know what would the exact word to be, but he's even supported you, you know what I mean? He could tell, like just looking at you, you're a real one, you know what I'm saying, about this life, yeah.
And the thing is, man, I just stay humble. You guys didn't know a lot about my past until you guys really grew up and heard about me talking about it, or you saw some pictures or whatever. I always say whatever I've accomplished in the past is the past. God has allowed me to do things, man, and reach heights that I never thought I could reach. But with hard work and I believe in God, that's my main focus. I do believe in God, and
Jesus is king.
That's every day. And the thing is, I've stayed humble. I don't brag about what I've done. I've never been like that, and it seems like I've always wanted to be a teacher. Not to say in a classroom, but to teach and be a role model to young men.
Yeah,
you know, especially African American men or men of color or any young man that needs help or guidance, and that's how I've always been, and that's why it seems like people do gravitate towards me.
Yeah, I mean, like you coached my travel baseball team. Well, not mine, but our travel baseball team, the Rough Riders. Shout out, Rough Riders,
Rough Riders.
You know what I mean? But I mean, you have. I mean, I'm not your only son. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot. You have a bunch of sons out there who look at you as Big Mike, or you know what I mean, like their either their first dad or their second dad or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
The dad they didn't have in their life. And that's one of the more proud things I am of you, you know what I'm saying, of how you're able just to take other kids under your wing and just be that motivator, you know, and that example for them to strive to be a better man, a better person.
And it's funny that you say that, but I got that not from my dad, but from my mom.
Yeah.
My mom was that person that, you know, she embraced everybody. She saw no color. She had friends of all races. When I look at her and I see how things are for me now, I see the exact same thing that she was doing. My mom was a very humble person, and people would gravitate towards her. All kinds of different people, man. Kids they would run away and come to my house and stay, and my mom would embrace them and stuff and everything. So that was something that I learned from her. Her heart was so big. You know, and the thing is, I think my one true fault is that I give everything I have to everybody before I give to myself. And you know, sometimes that it turns around and burns you, but you know, that's just how I am. You know, God will provide a way for me to survive, but I'd rather make sure that you or somebody that I'm close to will have it before I have it.
Yeah, and just to bring up your mom, you lost your mom at a very early age.
Yeah, my mom was my best friend, man. This is her right here.
Yeah.
Inez. I lost her, man. She died to breast cancer when I was 17 years old. That was the best friend I had in the world. But I know it's funny because I named your sister Megan Inez.
I have it tatted on mine. Yeah.
And her personality, man, is so much like my mom. So I know my mom's spirit is here on earth, you know, through your sister Megan.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that my mom is always watching over us. And the one thing that I've always hated and regretted, that my mom physically didn't just at least get to hug you guys.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's one of mine. I wish I was able to be there. I mean, you should have been fucking sooner, man. No, I was kidding.
I'd have been a teenage dad. And it wouldn't be you. So.
God don't make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But it's great that you're able to make that positive. I mean, we don't have to go too deep into it. We could say that for the next podcast of like, but the way that affected you, the way that motivated you, the way that you were able to be strong, to help provide and protect for your family. You know what I mean? When your mom wasn't there or wasn't able to take care of your mom, to learn from that, to grow from that. I mean, I still tell, of course, it still affects you to this day. It's your mom and everything, but you've been able to use that, just like how you said, as a motivator and be influenced by her. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So even though physically I was never able to hug grandma, or you know what I mean, but I've been touched by her through you. You know what I'm saying? So like that's
right.
That's
Her memory with me it has never been lost, and I've always instilled that in you guys. And you guys know my mom, even though you've never met her. And yeah, she motivated me, man. She was my biggest fan, man. She never missed a game, even when she had cancer. She was sick. She never missed a baseball game, a football game. Whatever I was participating in, man, she was my biggest fan. And then, you know, when she passed, man, that hurt me, but it ended up motivating me to be a better person, a better man. And I made a promise to her that I would graduate college. And I wasn't looking to play any pro sports or anything like that. But when I said I was going to graduate from college, and I did. And I used that as motivation to be better as an athlete. And it took me to different levels, you know, and it still does today.
Yeah, and so the thing I wanted to bring, another thing that you overcame in life is actually having the blood clots. So like, not only did you have a shoulder surgery and everything like that, and like, okay, that's cool, that's another physical thing, wear and tear of your body, but another thing that happened not too long after that, is that you had blood clots. It was actually, what, 3 years ago?
Exactly. It was 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 goes in like a couple months, because it was when I was about to go to Burning Man, get a call that you were in the hospital, you were having some pain, you know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, you had those blood clots, and I mean, you were lucky, you caught it early, and you were able to medicate and everything like that. And now you're going through this throughout your whole rest of your life, you know what I mean? It's dramatically changed your life, you know what I'm saying? And that's another thing to overcome. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that was crazy, man. I developed blood clots in my lungs. I had no knowledge of this at all. I had 2 large blood clots and 11 small ones in my lungs. Basically, I was having a heart attack that day, which I call my son, I call your brother. We were working out, and I was feeling pain on my right side, man. But I'm an athlete, so I'm thinking it's something we're doing working out, man. But I couldn't catch my breath, and it ended up long story short, ended up having blood clots in my lungs. Usually, when they get that high, usually the rate of surviving is probably 10%.
Yeah.
All the doctors would come in my room, shake their head, say, you know what, you're a walking miracle. God bless me. It wasn't my time to die, but it was something I had to overcome, because the first thing when I went to see my regular doctor after I was released out of the hospital was, when can I work out? He said, I know your first question is, Mike, when can you work out? And he said, you got 2 options. He says, you better hope that somebody at the gym can work the defibrillator, or you're just gonna fall flatline. And I thought about it, and I'm like, wait, maybe somebody knows how to work a defibrillator. But then, this is when my kids and my ex at the time, they really looked at me and said, hey, you need to just do what the doctor says at this point. And the doctor says, hey man, you'll be better. But I couldn't work out for 3 months. I really couldn't do anything for 3 months because I'd let the medication set in. And this guy right here said, you know what? It's just another challenge. And that was my motivation right there. He told me, he said, this is another challenge, man. And then I started playing James Brown, the Payback. That's my ringtone. So that fired me up and inspired me. So once the 3 months was up, I got back into it. Still had some more setbacks because
and then like little blood clots or things.
Little blood clots came back, so I had to go back on the medication for the rest of my life.
But that was with trial and error.
Trial and error.
You know what I mean? Like things you're trying to ramp up a workout,
right.
Or maybe like just certain things.
Diet, because I didn't know. I just really study about what I could eat because of vitamin K.
Oh, and again, so not that long ago, I became a pescatarian, and I was just eating, and he was just like, he's making some crazy barbecue and everything, right? I did a month of it, and then he tried it out, and
we've been doing it ever since, basically.
Well, I cheated it not too long ago when I went to Burning Man.
But I haven't ate any. I haven't ate any red meat about 3 years.
Yeah, you haven't even ate a steak for forever.
No.
Like so, it's like. No. You can change. Like, you know what I mean? You can change. You can always better yourself. You can always do better. Motivate yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe and achieve. Like, it's corny and stuff, but, like, if you put it in the right context,
right,
and you actually really believe in yourself, and you really stay true to yourself, and you're what is it, critical of yourself in the right way, like not too hard on yourself, but really like you've done the same thing. You've had some things you've told me and made me put it in reflective, and I've told you some things where you're like, yeah, man, that's not the smartest way. You know what I mean? And I need to go about it the other way, and that's how like you achieve. Like I don't know, it's so corny, like some of the corny stuff, but it's like it's real. Like if you really are real with yourself, you really believe, and you put that work in. What can you not accomplish? Like, what I mean? Look at what the stuff you've gone through in life. Look at the stuff that I've been wanting to do, and you can't just give up. Never give up.
You can always, when people say, "Oh, you can do it, whatever you dream about, you can make it happen." There's ways to make it happen. You just have to go about setting out and looking in the mirror and saying, "Hey, reality, how can I go about it? How can I get it done?" Write it down and take simple steps to get to it. It may take a day. It may take 5 years. It may take 10.
It may take your whole life.
Yeah, but you still can achieve it, and people need to understand that. That's what motivates me. I'm 60 years old.
60 years old. Look how beautiful this man is. You know how lucky my genes are.
60 years old, and I tell people I didn't live. I'm not here being 60. I didn't get here being 60 by being a fool all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I've been done some foolish things in life. Don't get me wrong. You know, I've probably done more stuff than this guy has in his life.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
But you know what? You learn from your mistakes, and you reflect back on them, and you grow from them.
Yeah. Yeah, and man, I'm just honestly blessed, grateful that I have you as a dad. I mean, even like when I was younger, I mean, like as times when you were hard on me, you know, looking back at it, it's just like I wouldn't want to change that because it's created the mentality and the person I am today. You know what I mean? And again, I always tell you, like, if I got to pick my dad, I would have messed up, man. I probably might have picked the wrong dude. You know what I mean? Like, not saying I wouldn't have wanted to pick you or whatever, but I might have not even known how much of worth you would have been to me. You know what I mean? And like, I'm glad that I know, like, I have probably one of the best dads I could have ever had, man.
Man, I appreciate that, man. You know, I just tried to do my best. I mean, my goal was to spend as much time as I could with my kids and be a positive role model in you guys' life. That's the one thing I know I didn't mess up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, everybody doesn't have their dad's not there. And I remember I worked in corrections.
Yeah.
And, you know, most of the guys that were in there were like, you know what, Mike, we didn't ever had a positive male role model or a male person that was positive in our life, be it a dad, an uncle, a cousin, whatever. But I would take their place. I'd be like their big brother, or I'd be like their father figure, you know, to show them, hey, they give them that direction. But hey, you know what? A man can be positive in your life. You know, then they're always going to prison, not always going to jail, doing stuff like that. So, you know, I appreciate you, man. If I had to pick a son, I wouldn't pick nobody else but you.
Hey, thanks,
Love
man.
you, man.
Hey, man. Thanks, man. We gonna end on that, man.
All right, yeah.
We'll end on that. All right, well, thank you. Anything else you want to...
Harmon Warhol show.